Hello, Scorpio. My name is Paul, and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Right? And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And this is going to be a fine occasion because this is the Prince of Cups and this is the fixed water energy, which represents the Scorpio energy in action, right? So, of course, we have to ring our bell because this is your power card. This is different than if we were to get, let's say, the Death card, because the Death card is the archetype. This is the Scorpio energy, like I said, in action, activated, right? This is going to be very significant. And we also have art or temperance. We have some fire, some earth, more fire. And there, God, we have to ring it again. And there is the archetype of the Scorpio energy. This is really significant. There's a lot of very powerful cards here. And an emperor even. This is something else. We're going to select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We'll put Mr. Ed right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, if we can help it, okay? But we are doing something a little different. If at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that card is, I want you to type it into the comment section, okay? I'm trying to see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, if we can tap into our intuition and start discerning that mystery card together, right? But first, let's take another look around the room. We've got major, four major arcana cards, one of which is the hierophant. So we are going to need to do an Jing card in a few minutes here. We have some fire. We have a lot of good fire. Even some of the major arcana is fire. We have the Emperor, which is Aries. We have art or temperance, which is Sagittarius. So a lot of fire energy today. A lot of creativity, a lot of ambition. And then, of course, we've got some water. We don't have any air energy, right? And then we've got a little bit of earth. It's mostly major arcana and fire, and a little bit of water and a little bit of earth. Now, the air that we might need is already inside the Prince of Cups, because this is the air of water. This is the fixed water energy. And this represents you, generally, but specifically right now. And I think that this is you really striving to express your truth, right? This is you trying to kind of unleash that air energy that's inside you, right? That spiritual energy. Trying to communicate your true self to others. I think you're doing something that's quite artistic, even though you may not look at it that way. I mean, we also literally have the art or temperance card here, which I think is a couple of things. But right on the nose, it's art. And I think you're trying to really be authentic, right? This card here is all about authenticity, because there is that surface level of water. It's kind of water on the outside, right? Which reflects the light that's shined on it, right? It reflects the emotional energy or the spiritual energy or the vibes from the world around it. And I think this is kind of a true nature of an artist, someone that can reflect back to the world what the world is projecting, right? It's very interesting here. And it's done so in your own unique way because of the air that's inside of this. That's your voice. That's your spirit, right? And I think that's kind of what a real artist does is reflects back to the world a picture of the world that the world might not be aware of, right? But also this card is about you trying to express yourself authentically, to find your voice, right? And I really think that's the focus right now, and this is what you're working on doing. I think that the art or temperance card here, not only is it literally art, that you're trying to mix together all of your paints and get them on a canvas, maybe not literally, but it could be. That you're striving to figure out the right ingredients for your life, for your career, your artistic expression, for your family, all areas of your life. Yeah. I don't think this is just business. I don't think this is just your home or your personal life or your romantic life. I think this is the creativity that you feel within, the inspiration that you're feeling, right? We'll come back to these cards as we go through, but I want to kind of explore some of these other ideas. I've got a Three of Pentacles back here. I kind of feel like you're maybe putting the finishing touches on something, right? I feel like you understand the process of creation on the physical plane, and this Mars and Capricorn energy is giving you the kind of final push to get something done, to get something completed that I think is going to be a very wonderful expression of who you are. Now, you may not even look at it as something creative, right? You may look at it from what we see here, this hierophant point of view. You may see it as maybe your duty to the world, maybe your duty to yourself, maybe it is this is just what you're meant to do, and perhaps you are doing it for the world, for others. It's something maybe designed to help other people. I think you have a real focus on learning and teaching in some way, and maybe not an overtly, kind of teaching relationship, but something like that, right? The giving and receiving of knowledge, okay? But I like the Three of Pentacles. I think that you've been working on something for quite a while, right? And I think you're starting to kind of wrap it up, starting to put the finishing touches on it. You understand what the last push needs to be to finish this up. What comes right after the Three of Pentacles is a Four of Pentacles. This project is completed, right? So I think we're working our way there. Yeah, working our way there. Now, also with the Art or Temperance card, I feel like this is kind of creating a bit of a sensitivity to you, because the Prince of Cups is also a quite sensitive energy. Okay, like I said, it's that surface level water, and when energy comes in, it can either absorb some of it, it reflects some of it. It does different things. So I think that you're someone who right now is kind of quite sensitive to what other people are projecting to you. Vibes, emotional energy, spiritual energy. And so in terms of the work that you're doing, now maybe this isn't artistic, maybe it's not a career thing. Okay, whatever you're involved with, okay, whatever you kind of focus on, whatever all of this fire energy is all about, right? I think you're very sensitive to how other people are reacting to what you're doing, to the work that you're presenting, right? Or to the truth that you're speaking, right? What you're trying to express. I think you're quite sensitive to that at the moment, okay? I think I hear my cat squeaking around. She might make an appearance here today. Yeah, there she is. I thought I heard her. So we've got to talk about this death. I mean, this is your power energy. This is your Scorpio energy. And I think that with the death card here in the future position, this is kind of us understanding how things are progressing forward long term, right? So this death card, maybe looking back, okay, you can come sit up here. I think she really wants to have her own channel, this one. She likes to make an appearance. I feel like with the Scorpio reading, she also was in the Leo reading, I think. and maybe Sagittarius. I don't remember. She likes to come and go. But with the Death card, this is, I think, your long-term plan, strategy, awareness, right? It's the long-term evolution of you and of what you're doing. Maybe this particular project or series of projects, right? If this is a larger thing, a larger business, a larger life plan, but your spiritual evolution generally, right? It's up to you to decide how this applies more specifically. I feel like with this card, we kind of look back over what we've already done, pretty much the Three of Pentacles that we had back there. We look back at what we've already accomplished, the work that we've already done, and in some ways, we almost scrap it and start over. You know, it kind of has this attitude like everything that we do, everything that we finish, every, let's say, piece of art that we produce, every poem, every painting, whatever you're doing, right? It's almost as if we junk it and we start over. It's like everything is kind of a, not a rough draft or a prototype, but we try to improve upon everything. So it's almost as if what's done is done. My previous work is, I don't even want to think about it. And we're looking to the next project, but we're not forgetting about it. It's still a finished thing, right? And we've learned from it. We think that we have improved our skill or our ability to reflect the world around us or to speak our truth. We've adjusted a little bit of our recipe. So the next one, that's going to be the perfect one. But we know it's not going to be perfect. We know it's going to be another kind of act of creation that once it's done, right? I hope my sentiment is coming through. I'm not implying that it's garbage, right? It's not trash. But it's the idea of the artist, the kind of theme of the artist, you're only as good as your last piece, right? And everything that came before is kind of almost pales in comparison to what the next one is, right? And this is what keeps us growing and moving forward and evolving. And I think it's a slow, steady process for you. I think it's coming in quite fast right now, right? I think there's a lot of fire energy here now. So it could be that the next one really is, this is the big one, right? This could be the huge idea, project, inspiration that we've been waiting for. I mean, look at all this fire energy. We have an ace right here at the top. I think this is the new idea that's coming in, right? I think this is, with the ace and a 5, I think we're reworking this big idea. This big energy is coming in. This new idea, and we're in the process of developing it, of working on it, refining it, honing it, right? Before we then take it into production, so to speak, right? I think this is the inspiration for that new idea, that new project, new plan. And the 5 of Wands down here underneath everything is, well, this is us developing it, right? Because this is a Saturn in Leo kind of energy. We're trying to contain our excitement, right? We feel this kind of wide-eyed enthusiasm. We're really excited about this one. I think this is the big one, right? But we're trying to stay calm. We're trying to hold back. We're trying to restrain the Saturn energy, trying to restrain our excitement, our confidence. Trying to take a deep breath. Maybe that's why there's no water here. Maybe we need a deep breath, right? There's also, I think, no air here. Did I say water? I meant there's no air here because we need that deep breath. Yeah. And, well, really, there's not a lot of water here either. There's some water here. We kind of need a little bit of water and air, I would say. which is what you're kind of aspiring to, right? Like I said with the Prince of Cups, it's air and water. We need that deep breath. We also need to understand kind of intuitively and as a strategy. We got the Art Temperance card here. We need to know when to share our plans and when not to. Okay? We have a little bit of water here, and I think that's going to be important when we work our way over to those cards. The absence of air is kind of saying that we're choosing to be careful of how we communicate. We don't want to tell the world about this plan yet because, well, what if it doesn't work out? And we'll get to that card. But I want to focus on the fire energy for now. With this ace and this 5, this is the inspiration, right? I think you're feeling very inspired. Now, we'll move to the path of the serpent. We got the hierophant. Anytime we do a hierophant card, here's that hierophant. This is that very strong Taurus energy. Anytime we get the hierophant card, we have to do an Jing card, right? It's kind of our unspoken rule on the channel. Well, no, actually, I've said it before. It's our spoken rule on the channel. Anytime we get a fool, a magus, a hierophant, or a hermit, we're going to do an Jing card. Or, alternatively, anytime there's only one major arcana card, but in this case we have 4, Spirit is definitely in the building here. Okay. But because there's a hierophant, we are going to do an Jing card to see how we might best apply this hierophant energy. And we have 6 arguing. Well, that may be not the best thing. This could be talking about what we were just talking about. Not having that air energy here. We're not ready to share this yet. We have to intuitively know when to share our plans and when to hold back. Otherwise, we might get a little bit of hexagram 6. Now, hexagram 6 says, there is truth and confidence blocked. Vigilant and centered good fortune. Ending a pitfall. Fruitful to see great people, fruitless to cross the great river. It's not yet time to reveal this, okay? And maybe this is the great river. Maybe it's not yet time to cross this into this emperor energy, right? There is truth and confidence blocked. So that's kind of saying, look, it's not time to reveal your plans. It's not time to talk about it. Be vigilant and centered in yourself, in your truth, in your strategy, kind of in the kitchen, still working on the recipe before you're ready to serve the diners, right? It's fruitful to see great people. Fruitful to see great people. And I think this hierophant is the great people, the great person. This is kind of like, who are you inspired by? Who are your idols? Who are your mentors, right? Which other people, artists or whatever, do you look up to? Do you take your influence from? Look to those great examples in whatever field you're in. Maybe you're a painter. Maybe you're an IT person. Maybe you're a coder, right? Maybe you're an engineer. Maybe you work in healthcare. Maybe you're a teacher. Look to those great examples, those giants in your field. Look at them for inspiration, right? These are your role models and your mentors. It's fruitful to look at those. It's fruitless to try to cross the great river now, which means to make that big next step. I don't know that we're ready for that yet. Let's look at the rest of the text. Things are not as they should be, so you argue for what you need, sustenance, to be believed, or for justice. But in defiant frustration, the creative flow is blocked. Open your heart to the potential for change and a higher perspective. Consult with someone wiser or outside the conflict. What are you arguing for? If you can't win this one, what else can you do? See, I don't know that we're really in this state of arguing yet. It could be that we are. It could be that we have an absence of air energy here because we don't see kind of a way out of this discussion, this conflict, this arguing, right? And I think it has to do with the expression of your truth, the creation of whatever this inspiration is that's in development, right? So we may or may not be in the arguing part of it. It might be that we're trying to avoid this. And I think this is right along with what we've been talking about. We have this fire energy. This is a Knight of Wands. This is fire on fire. This is kind of impulsive, right? This is someone who, even despite the advice not to, you're going to cross that great river, right? And maybe this is maybe this is it. Maybe instead of arguing, because if you're in this conflict with the air energy, in our, people not receiving our ideas correctly, we're not expressing ourselves the right way, we're not able to convey our thoughts or our ideas. It's like we intuitively know kind of not to engage that air energy and share too much about what we're doing. Especially because we are sensitive to other people's reactions. And I think that option would lead to arguing. The other option, I think, and I might be breaking with tradition of the I Ching here, the other option might be to avoid the arguing altogether and just do it. Just do the thing. Get your inspiration from the greats, from the giants in your field, and use this impulsive, fiery energy that does not hesitate, does not really think or feel, just acts. And if we cross this great river of fear, of failure, of losing the mojo, losing the momentum here, if we can cross this storm, this great river, we can get to this emperor. Okay? And maybe the advice is don't cross the great river now because, look, it's kind of stormy out. It's not a good day for crossing rivers, right? When the sky looks like this, when the waters look like that, it might not be a good day to cross. I feel as if you're ready to go and you might just do it anyway. Okay? And if we do, I think nothing's going to be the same after this, one way or the other. Okay? We're either going to make it across or we're not, but nothing is going to be the same. Right? The fire, if we succeed, the fire energy becomes the emperor. And now the emperor is very confident, very much in control, and has refined a lot of this fire energy, knows the strategy, has the strategy, can speak the truth, can make the decrees, right? Everything that we wanted, everything that we're talking about on the path of the dove especially, is realized and fulfilled in this emperor energy. This is the completion of not only this. See, this is interesting here. We said at the beginning we have the Three of Pentacles. This is you putting the finishing touches on something, right? The next step after this is the Four of Pentacles, right? And the Four is the Emperor. The fourth mystery of the tarot is the Emperor, right? So this is the completion not only of this particular set of pentacles, but of the entire main project, the big, dynastic kind of project, whatever it is that is your kind of life's work, right? We're completing one step of it, one project, one creation, right? And we are making the giant leap here across this eight. This is an Eight of Cups. This is kind of, it could be really a loss of heart or a gaining of confidence and strength and authority, right? So this is the big idea that's coming in. And, this could be looked at as a great river too. If we think about the fire energy having to cross this water, it's kind of you're already in the middle of the river, right? And we're trying to get from wrestling with this idea to get to the pure inspiration that we can then work our way to this 4, major arcana 4, the Emperor, and complete this larger project. So I think that this really is the big moment for you. Okay? I think that this is that big idea, that big step, right? And I think as soon as we're finished with this one, then we have to make that decision. Well, do we argue with ourselves, maybe even? Do we try to get other people to kind of support us? Do we need confirmation from people? Do we need reassurance? Or is that just going to lead to too much air energy, too much debate? Right? Because I think we are sensitive. If too many people around you are saying, I don't like the idea, maybe we're going to fold. Maybe we avoid any kind of negative influence. We avoid this hexagram, essentially. We avoid the arguing and instead consult with our higher self, the hierophant, the inner mentor, the inner guide, spiritual teacher, and take inspiration from those other giants in our field, right? Rather than invoking the air energy. See how that's different here? We don't want to argue with the air. We want to see the great person, the great people, internally, externally. Okay? And that is how we get the reassurance, the confidence. That's how we get the green light to then cross that great river and get to our emperor. It's not by consulting who aren't the great people, right? It's fruitful to see the great people, but not the not great people. And I hope that makes sense. I hope that seems clear, because the Eight of Cups is really what we're trying to avoid. And this is a glass half empty. This is really a kind of a pallor. It's like you're vibrant, you're stoked, right? Literally, this fire is stoked. You're enthusiastic, right? You're lit up, you're jazzed up. But then too much talking to other people, and we might lose a little bit of our color. We might lose a little bit of that excitement. Our heart kind of sinks. It's draining from us. We want to avoid that. You want to stay on this high that you're on and go straight to the emperor, right? So it might not be wise to cross this river if we are relying too much on the opinions of others, or the reactions of others, or the reassurance from others, because we might not get that. And I think we're in a heightened sensitivity right now that if we don't get that, we might feel that pallor, that drain, that sinking heart feeling, right? So this is the card that we want to avoid. This is in the position of what we don't want. And that's why we gotta cross that. We've got to understand that this is the risk. So let's back the horse up pretty far, get a running start, and hope we can leap right over that. Right? Because this is big. And I don't think anything's going to be the same after this. But again, it could kind of go either way. It depends on you, obviously. It always does, right? Let's look at the mystery card now. This is the point of the reading where we say thank you to Mr. Ed. And we're going to see what this card is. I would like everybody to try to connect with these energies, with these images. Let's collectively raise our vibrations. Let's tap into spirit, into source. I'll leave the camera like this for a minute. We'll have a moment of stillness. I can hear my cat digging around somewhere in here. Everybody put your answers into the comment section. Let's see, what do we need here? I think we really need some more earth energy, right? To show that we've kind of reached the other side of the river and that we are, we're reaching success, right? We've landed. We've got onto safe and stable ground, just like the cat here on my leg. But I don't know if we're going to get that earth. I'm going to say earth energy in some form or fashion. Okay. No, not earth. It's temperance yet again. The art or temperance card, which we have twice now. We have two of these art or temperance cards, which are the Sagittarius card, which is, to me, feels like the strategy, the temperance that we need, right? The kind of, the mixture of our forces that we need to actualize, realize, materialize our aspirations, right? Our philosophy of life. What we are trying to create, what we are trying to express in our power energy. This is the time for you to be you, right? Express your truth in whatever realm we're talking about. We have double Sagittarius here. You're a philosopher. You're a visionary, right? You've got goals. This is a huge inspiration. I think we just need to strategize how best to accomplish this. And the hint from the Jing is avoid this. You want to make it, you want to succeed in your vision and realizing, actualizing, and materializing your vision, avoid this one. Avoid arguing with too many people around you who may not understand, they may not be on your level. Their opinion ultimately doesn't matter. You can look to your inner mentor, you can look toward the giants in your field to get inspiration or to glean some kind of advice or insight. But don't argue with people that may not know what you're doing or why. You've got to trust in yourself and in those that came before you, right? We need that strategy. And this is fire and water. So there's a lot of, this is kind of saying like, we are sensitive to the energy coming into us, so we have to be very discerning what we're letting in, right? So that it doesn't give us that moment of hesitation right before we jump, and then we land in the river, right? You know, if you're doing something, the worst thing to do is to second guess yourself or hesitate right when you're about to leap or do the dive or make the jump or whatever it is, right? You don't want to hesitate at the last moment. That's when you stumble. Once you start running, full confidence, and there's the time for debate and reflection and arguing and second guessing is over, right? Once we get on the horse and we get moving, it has to be a pure effort. And that's why we've got pure fire here with the Knight of Wands. Fire on fire. There's no little bit of air or water or earth in here at all. It's just fire. That's all and that's how you're going to make that jump, right? If there's any impurity in there, you're going to stumble, right? This is being committed. Make a decision, be committed 1,000%, right? We do that by avoiding the arguing and by strategizing and by, connecting with ourselves, our truth, and with this inspiration. And I think there's something to that, crossing the great river here, right? Going from kind of wrestling with the idea, developing it, sorting it out, to getting to the pure essence of it. And this pure fire goes with this pure fire, and they both go over the river. And that's it. Now we're going to do an extended. Okay? So if you want to stick around, click on the link either above or below in the video description. New readings for Scorpio every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 a.m. Chicago time. Please hit the subscribe button and click on the little bell notification so you don't miss the next reading. Thank you for watching this reading all the way through until the end. It really helps out the algorithm And I appreciate it very, very much. Scorpio, I want you to remember that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we are all in this together.